What's up guys, Average Gamer Boy here with another video on the channel. I hope you're doing well today. So today guys, I thought I'd run you through the formations that I've been using over the last couple of days. I get used to the new FC25 mechanics and also just give you a brief rundown, man, on, the new tactics, how they work, how they've changed, so that you're a bit prepared when Friday comes around and you're ready to get logged on. Right guys, after a pretty disappointing pack opening, I'm not going to lie, let's get onto the formation, shall we? So as with all the previous FIFAs, you've got a sort of generic formation that you're going to use. I have it named as a random manager for some reason because I didn't know how to change it. But essentially, this is the one that you're going to use for your chemistry. So to make sure you've got your whole team on 3 chem, you want to use this formation. Don't really have to adjust anything unless it is a formation that you actually want to use. I don't really use the flat 4-3-3. It's just for my players' chemistry. So I haven't actually changed any of the player roles on this one. But what you do, you'll press your L button, and rather than having custom and tactics and stuff that you had last year, you'll go into team management and it'll pull you up something like this. So like I said, this is my main formation for chemistry. It's named after a manager that I got in a bronze pack at the start called, I'm not even going to try that. No, not going to do it. But go into your edit tactics, and this is just sort of me messing about with things, but I haven't actually done anything with it. But then everything will be sort of blank on here, and what you'll have to do is click right twice and it'll come up with create tactic. You can have 4 new tactics, and you can create your own. I've obviously got things here, but a cool thing on this one as well is that you have a use code section where you can import other tactics that you've done and things like that. But essentially, I have them named after the formation. So let's get into the ones that I've been using. So first up, we have the 4-3-3 holding, and I really like this formation sort of as a starter formation. It's quite balanced, and you do get really good build-up play. If you like to build up a little bit slower, you're not all about, skill moves and stuff, then this formation might be the one for you. But what you have on the left-hand side is your tactical preset. Sometimes this will come through, it'll usually say FC preset. You don't want that. You want to go over to custom every time. And then you can adjust your players. So I have the formation, which you can change as well. 4-3-3 holding. You have your build-up style, where you have balanced, which is pretty much as it says on the tin, pretty balanced. Counter, which is sort of, you get the ball back and your players sort of make runs in behind. Short passing, where players come short. So there's only 3 options, nice and quick, nice and easy, not like last year where there was 4 on each. I would recommend staying on balance for now. I think it gives you the best. I have tried short passing for a game and hated it. Even I like to build up slow, but it just did not feel like the players were moving anywhere. Counter might be good. It's decent on attacking formations if you are trying to get back into the game sort of 60th minute, but I'd definitely recommend going on balanced. And the line, you have high, aggressive if you want to go absolutely mental. High is sort of a decent line. You've got your balanced, which is sort of, sitting back but not too far, and then you have deep as the presets, and then you can press Y or triangle to adjust your actual height. I've been playing on the highest I can without it going on to high, so I want it on balanced at 60, and that's simply because if you read what it says, this one says they'll track runs that go backwards, and this one says that they're not going to track the opposition runs, and we don't want that. I like my wingers coming back a little bit. I like my fullbacks tracking people, so yeah, I keep it on 60. But what we need to do there, I'm not going to say my changes because I don't know if I've actually changed anything. But if you press your right bumper or R1 on your PlayStation controller, this is where things have changed. So you don't have sort of the player roles that you had last year. It's very much sort of actual roles. So your wingers, your inside forwards, a little bit like Football Manager in that sense. So for this 4-3-3, man, you can do anything you want really with the goalkeeper. It works either way. I have it on sweeper keeper just because Stefan Ortega has the plus play style for it, or whatever it is, plus position. So I use that. Defenders, you want both on defender, defend. Just basic, you just want them there, staying there and defending. On my right back, obviously I've got Jeremy Frimpong, who has attacking wing back plus. So you obviously get him up the wing a lot more. If it was just a standard right back, I would probably just use wing back and attacking on this right hand side. And then on the opposite side, wing back and balanced. And I think that's a decent one. What you can also do if you want to be a little bit more defensive, is put this as fullback and balanced, or fullback and defend, and they will not go forward. But I like Zinchenko going sort of a little bit into the central midfield position. Not the false 9 though. I've tried it. Even though he has the plus in it, it just doesn't work for me. Then I have the CDM as holding defend, pretty basic. It's really annoying, you can't get to CDM unless you go to the goalkeeper. I don't even want to get into EA at this point, man, but yeah, you have to go to the goalkeeper to have a look. But holding and defend on your CDM, box to box on one CM, so that'll go up and down, and then playmaker on the other, and that sort of gives them that old school 4-3-2-1 vibes, where they'll sort of make runs past the striker, but also be available in the central midfield position where you need them. On my left wing, I've got a balanced winger. On my right wing, I've got an inside forward, so he plays sort of as a second striker on the right. And then you've got that width with your left winger there, which is why I've got an attacking fullback here to offer width on this side. But the most important thing is that this is, if you look at the top, you'll see that it says without the ball. So this is how you'll set up when you're defending. And then if you the right analog stick, this is what you look like with the ball. And I know this looks very odd, but promise you, this is a really good sort of starter formation from minute one. You get a lot of players in the midfield, always an option going forward. Even though it doesn't say it here, it does show that Sané sort of makes these inside runs. And I've got Gabriel Jesus on a complete advanced forward rather than just attacking, which means he goes all across the line. But take note of these guys. But what I'm going to do is just show you without the ball again, because when you go into these tactics, we'll just use Jesus as an example. You've got advanced forward. Complete shows you on the little green bits on the player map, sort of their heat map, where they're going to end up during the game. You could change that, and they essentially attack. He won't go onto the wings. Complete, he will. If you had a target forward as an attack, he'll just stay there. It's balanced, he'll stay in the middle, sort of stay central, classic stay central, and come into sort of centre forward. And wide, he'll literally just play on the wings. He'll barely ever be in the middle. And you can just mess around with these, man. But what I've found, definitely in this formation, if you are looking for sort of a decent one, I'd probably have this as a normal forward on attack. But just because Gabriel Jesus isn't really a focal point, he's more of a dribbler, I have him on complete and have Sané sort of making late runs, and I have Núñez making late runs into the box as well. So give this a try. Let me know what you think. What I would say, guys, if you want to give this formation a try, the great thing is now that we have these codes, so I'll keep this on the screen for a couple of seconds. You can pause the video now. Take note of this, it is case sensitive, so make sure you get it right. Give this a go when you get logged on. Moving on, this is the formation that I started with the 4-3-3, but at the moment, to be honest, this is the one I'm using the most. Two strikers, as they do tend to be with most FIFA starts, they are really overpowered. Having a two-striker formation is really important. What you have to remember is that this is how you look when you don't have the ball. And if you remember last year, everyone used a 4-3-2-1 and then defended in a 4-4-2. So this is actually what you want it to look like when you're defending. It will defend in a 4-4-2, okay? But for the tactics, 4-4-2 flat, nice and simple. Build-up play again, like I said, balanced. Defensive approach on 60. We're not changing anything. Player roles, I've got Ortega on sweeper keeper. Again, do what's best for you guys. Frimpong on attacking wing back. Again, I would actually have him as just maybe an attacking or maybe a balanced wing back. But if you look at where he goes on the attacking, his heat map is sort of really close on the right wing. Whereas if I have him as a wing back on balanced, he sort of is in that right mid position, which is probably where I'd prefer him. But just because he's got that plus, I'm not going to put him on attack because that's madness. But I will keep him on balanced and sort of have him roaming around there. And then I have Núñez as a wide playmaker. And if you look at his heat map, he sort of comes inside a little bit. So we have Frimpong coming across and making that width. But yeah, man, defenders, again, defend, keep it nice and simple. On this one, I actually have Zinchenko as a fullback defend, and this is what I was telling you in the 4-3-3. Keeps him sort of in that holding position in defence, so he's not going to go forward. And, you know, man, it's Zinchenko. Find me another person that's putting videos on that's using Alexander Zinchenko as their left back. Why do Man City not sign left backs? I don't understand. But anyway, I digress, that's not important. But yeah, Alexander Zinchenko, I have him as a defensive left back because he can't do much else. And then as your left winger, I have inside forward and balanced, and that sort of puts them in that behind the striker central attacking midfield role. But also when they're in the build-up, they will start quite wide. Speaks for itself, your two central midfielders, like we would have done on the 4-3-2-1, have them both as defend and holding. And then, like I just said before, Núñez is a wide playmaker so that he sort of takes up those drifting in field roles. Up front, I mean, you can do what you want here, man. Some people might want to have a poacher and a target forward. Classic sort of old school 4-4-2. I like having one of my strikers a poacher so that he's going to get in behind, and I have that as Sané because he's a little bit taller, and again because Jesus has the advanced forward plus, I have him as a complete advanced forward, and he sort of makes wide runs, sets up Sané, but also can make the runs in behind himself when needed. But yeah, man, I'll get you my code for this one. I'll keep it on the screen for a little bit, but honestly, give this one a go if you haven't tried it. Defensively, it's really solid, very balanced, but you've always got an option up front. Four attackers making really decent runs, including your right back that will make a sort of late run for the cross. Definitely worth a go. And just because I forgot to show you, this is what it actually looks like with the ball. Again, this always looks more confusing than it actually is, but as you can see, you've got that 5-man front. Zinchenko sort of tucks in to make it a 3-man defence, and then you've got your 2 holding midfielders sort of screening that defence as well. So really balanced. You might think that you're going to get countered down the left and right hand side. It is possible, but because it's 3 at the back, you'll have Stones and you'll have Zinchenko pull across as needed to cover for these 2 wingers whilst they get back. So yeah, guys, give this formation a go. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As this is an average gaming channel, obviously I can't do a formation that doesn't sort of have the basic balanced approach for you guys. If you are either below average or average at the game, this is a formation to try out to keep you competitive and keep you solid at the back. And it's always a staple formation, the 4-2-3-1. Obviously, looking at the name, ignore the name. I don't mean that, I promise. But as we go in, man, here's the formation, the 4-2-3-1. We've got the balance tactic again, and again 60 width. Like I say, I don't really change this, but mess around, get it to your preference. It's completely personal preference, that one. As is the goalkeeper. I keep sweeper keeper on there, like I say. Because this is a balanced one, no Frimpong flying up the wing. We have him on fullback balanced. Defenders, defender, defend, always. Zinchenko again, fullback balanced. Nice and simple. Your 2 holding midfielders are going to hold in and defend. And then I have Núñez as a shadow striker, so he'll make those runs forward to support Jesus, who I have as an actual just attack-minded advanced forward here. No going wide. I want him straight in the middle, ready to finish off the chances. And then you can mess around with these ones, actually. There's quite a few good cam roles. Shadow striker, obviously, will put them in that sort of running into the box position. You might like that. So a lot of people running the 4-2-3-1 last year would have both their wingers on getting to the box whilst attacking, which obviously this will do. I prefer, honestly, having it on the half winger, just because I like to have that width. And I know I could run a 4-2-3-1 wide, and that probably would be offering that width. But when I'm actually without the ball, which this is, I want them quite narrow. So this is why I run it as the 4-2-3-1 narrow with the 3 cams. Have both of them a half winger, and as you can see, they'll stay out wide and sort of make those runs in behind as and when, but it does mean that they are always there for the build-up play, which is really nice. And without the ball, like I said, there's no messing around with this one, guys. It stays quite similar to the with the ball. You know where players are going to be. You've got those 4 focal points in attack that are going to be a build-up, and you'll use these 2 holding midfielders to sort of not only screen your defence, but start those attacks as well. But yeah, guys, if you are sort of, the average gamer like me, here's the code up above for you. Give this one a go and it will solidify you and sort of give you a good starting base to start on. And then finally, guys, I've mentioned the old 4-3-2-1 a lot in this video, and there's a reason for that because it absolutely dominated last year. And you can come close to recreating it. I've seen quite a few streamers that have been using, these similar tactics to these. I've tried a few formations to try and recreate it, and this is probably the closest I've come. I don't run this until either I'm getting beaten, which hasn't happened yet because I'm only playing squad battles like I promised you. But if I'm struggling to break down a defence, I will bring on a striker or maybe Chloe Kelly, a fast winger, and put her where Núñez is here to put it like the old school 4-3-2-1 where you had an attacker as your central midfielder. But again, balanced 60, play around with it, get it how you want it. For your player roles, you've got Jesus as an advanced forward attack. Again, one where he'll just stay central, won't be going drifting wide in this formation because that's what you've got Núñez for. He will do that playmaker where he'll roam a little bit forward. You could put him on roaming if you wanted him going all across the midfield, but I prefer just having him on that left-hand side, again, like with the classic 4-3-2-1, because I've got Frimpong making these runs on the right-hand side. So sweeper keeper, again, personal preference. Attacking wing-back balance for Frimpong to make sure that he's making those overlapping runs because Sané will be cutting inside on the right mid. Defender defend, fullback defend with Zinchenko so that he stays back. In the midfield, you would have probably had holding on this on your 4-3-2-1 last year. And there's a reason I don't do that on this one. So I'll put, I mean, it is that Alex Garcia has a plus as well. But if I put it on holding and then go with ball, it's just a weird formation. They're not in the right place when you do that. Garcia just sort of stays on this right-hand side. And he makes a lot of runs sort of cutting over to this right-hand side, where Stones is also trying to cover as well, and it just leaves you open. So instead of that, I have him on box-to-box, balanced, and then he'll just sort of make backwards runs, occasionally go to the right if he's really needed, but more staying in that focus position on the right-hand side of midfield, and he still does stay holding with the ball. Holding defend for Nemecha, obviously your most defensive midfielder. You want him in the middle, constantly screening. Nunes on playmaker, like I said, just so that he makes those runs sort of to support Jesus. And then I also have Hemp on inside forward, but I have her as balanced. And then I have Sané as inside forward attack, so he makes sort of that second striker. And then because he's so far inside, that's why you have Frimpong making those attacking runs. And this is as close as personally I could get it to the old school 4-3-2-1. Plays really well. I just don't like to play it from the start because one, I know when I actually get online, I'll like to gauge my opponents out, see how they play, see what I need to be doing. And to do that, I do a bit slow build up. This is quite fast build up, even on balanced, because you've got all these players sort of making these runs forward. Garcia making the runs forward and back, and then Frimpong on the right hand side, absolutely bolting it up and down. So yeah, man, if you're interested in what this one looks like, here's my code above. Give it a go. I think it's as close. If you did run the 4-3-2-1 last year, it's probably as close as you're going to get to it this year. But these are the formations I'm going to start with this year, guys. But I will keep updating this as and when. Obviously, new metas will come out. But at the moment, what do I think to the gameplay? I mean, it's like every FIFA. At the start of the game, it's really slow. Your dribbling seems to have been nerfed a lot, apart from just left analog stick dribbling, which is the way to go at the moment, I think, because the transition between left and right, if you just use your left stick, don't use R2, you're going to be able to get past players. I think actual skill moves, players at the minute are too slow. You're just going to get tackled. And sprinting even, to be honest, I mean, I've got Hemp, let's have a look. Hemp, I think, is 90 pace, Sané's 90 pace, and Jesus is 87 with this Evo. And you can't escape many goal defenders, to be honest. Unless you've got a decent head start, you're not going to be holding R2 all the time like you would have done on classic FIFAs. Let go of the R2 button, man. Use some left stick dribbling. And finesses, not great in the minute. Obviously, they got nerfed last year and they were way overpowered at the start. So unless you got finesse plus, I'd stick to strong shots. And if you got an angle, Trivela shots are still awesome, man. Get those Trivelas done. You will start scoring goals. What I'll do, guys, maybe not this week because no one wants to see squad battles. But on Friday, on full release, I'll make sure that I get some gameplay recorded of actual games on Rivals. And yeah, guys, hope you're looking forward to FC25 coming out on Friday. I wish you all the best of luck. And if you've got any additional formations, any additional roles to try out, put them in the comments down below. And if any of these formations do help you, please be sure to drop a like on this video. It hugely helps me out. And consider subscribing. I'm not usually this normal, I will be honest. And it may get a little bit angry during the gameplay. Not going to lie. But anyway, guys, hey, have a great rest of your day. Speak to you soon. Bye.